This is Cooker's Urban Homestead video blog for May 20th, 2011. I'm going to start with a little update from the front yard. This is the new trellis that my husband built. And we have little grapes growing there. And the goal is to have the whole thing covered in grapes eventually, decoratively. Here's our blueberry bushes. Where we have a blueberry, a currant, a blueberry, currant. And then we bought some new blueberries. And we will be planting them there as a secondary row. And then we have our pear tree that we planted last year and is doing nicely. Maybe we'll get a pear or two this year. I'm just gonna run through the house really quickly here. We'll go out in the backyard and take a look at the gardens. I have my gardens all planted now. I have my herbs, and when I planted my annual herbs, they haven't come up yet there. I did things in a little bit different pattern this year. Got my tomatoes in. They're on that back trellis. There's going to be another trellis in front of it that doesn't have a top rail yet or lines. We're waiting on a 20-foot rail to finish that off. But I did plant the cucumbers and pole beans in that row there to grow up it. So hopefully we can get that finished before they grow too much. Then I have my spinach and kale in this little bed here. In this bed here, things are starting to come up. I think that's cabbage. I have cabbage, broccoli, carrots, beets. Back there's my lettuce. All different sorts of varieties. And over here, my one raspberry plant that survived last year is doing really well and has turned into 100 raspberry plants. And then I have some new ones, and we'll hope those come up and get a nice row of raspberries there. My grape is finally budding out this year. Come over to the side of the house here and look at the other gardens. This bed here doesn't get any sun at all, so I planted some perennial decorative plants because I tried to grow things here the first year and it just failed miserably, and these are doing alright. They got really injured last year by pets and babies. Here's my garlic interspersed with potatoes that I missed from last season. Oops. I'm just going to let the potatoes keep growing. The garlic should be almost done in the next few weeks. I have my onions here, and those are all coming up nicely. And then more garlic, and this garlic was planted later, so it's a little more behind. This bed here, I planted amaranth. I had a ton of amaranth seeds I saved from last year, and it's good and easy. I like to eat the leaves. They are in the like spinach-esque kind of category. Here's the potato condos we've been working on. And we built 2 new ones today. And here's the one that was built a few weeks ago, and I accidentally put some dirt in there that had grass seed in it, which, so there's a lot of weeds in here. But the potatoes are coming up, and then hopefully by the time the potatoes get big enough, I can just cover all these weeds. I'm going to pull the big ones and cover the grass and weeds with the next layer of dirt. Hopefully they'll be smothered. This is my plan. These are mulberry bushes. They're really slow. They really didn't do much last year. I hope they are budding out. I hope that hope they make it. There's really not much sun there. We have a lot of spots in our yard without much sun. These are gooseberry bushes. They get equally as little sun here, but they're doing fantastic. They produce a tart berry that's edible. I don't know what we'll do with it. Maybe a jelly. This is my cherry tree we planted last year at the same time as the pear tree in the front yard, and it's looking nice. We might get a few cherries. This bed back here I planted more amaranth. It doesn't get any sun, or very little, an hour or two a day, so I don't really have high expectations. I also put it on some really poor soil. If it comes up, good. If not, oh well. Here are more decorative perennials, because this bed just doesn't get much light. Some of these I planted this year, and some of them were from last year. Some of them didn't make it. Hopefully this will fill in and look nice. I have my strawberry bed over here around the tree, and this is doing well. The goats got out in the middle of winter and ate all the strawberries off all the way down, but they've all bounced back, and it looks like we even have a few flowers there. So hopefully we get a decent amount of strawberries. This is the bamboo to finish the fence here. We're going to put one more vertical slat in between, one more vertical pole in between each one of these poles so that dogs can't climb underneath it. But all in all, it turned out really well. It's a really low budget project. We paid for the wood. Well, we already had that wood that's in the ground, but and the string. Everything else we got for free on Craigslist. We'll go back here and look at the animals. First we'll look at this grass. Here is the pasture grass that we're growing underneath the big pine trees. Let's try to get a gauge. They go up, back down. It's hard to get things to grow here. We cleared this land, raked it, we got the weeds out of here, raked it, let the chickens and goats live on it until it was cleared and demolished and pooped on, took a lot of fertilizer, and then planted this grass, and it looks really nice. We've been letting it get established before we put the goats on it. This was the first spot of grass we did, and this is the second spot of grass we did about a month later. It's coming up, it's looking good. When it gets just a little bit more full, when this catches up, we're going to put the goats here. Hopefully this area can sustain them and we won't have to feed them. This is the goal. This is the man shed back here with my husband's little cave getaway, and it's getting a new roof right now. This is a project we didn't do. We hired some contractors. It's a huge mess. We have the goats and chickens back here in the back of the yard while we're letting this grass try to grow and recoup. Here is Lola, who didn't get pregnant when she was supposed to, and Bubbles, who hopefully is pregnant. And then our chickens, we have downgraded. We now only have 5. We split our chickens with a friend. We used to have 11, and we were getting too many eggs for us and trying to sell them, and it became a hassle. Now we get the right amount of eggs, for roughly 4 a day. We have 2 coops going back here. It's kind of storage space. This thing over here is the goat shed barn for when they're fenced around it. They live in there. And then the bunnies. We have Miss Gray. She's the one that had the accidental inbreeding litter with her brother. That whole litter died. I think she was just too young. She was only 4 months when she got pregnant. And then we have Vixen with her litter of 5 kits. And Velvet down there has 3. She had a really small litter this time of purebred Flemish. Her previous litters have been big, so we'll let it go. And then we have Daddy over there in the corner. We can see him. That is RJ. I think that pretty much is the whole sum up of the little homestead here. Thank you for watching.